Yeah, right. I mean, so when did do you list of the order they got drafted in? Is it the order listed on the thing?
I couldn't tell you, unfortunately. I should still have that up. Actually.
Yeah. I think it's the order on the stat sheet.
So Hypershock was Jack's 4th pick,
and Biggie was Spoody's 5th pick.
Yep.
And I think that makes sense, right? Spoody, like you want to take the other monk player,
yes,
like right after, so that you don't get stuck without one.
Because like like it's one of these things like Spoody would know, worst case scenario. I'm sure I could do a monk run, but like you want someone who's more familiar with the character themselves.
I wonder if Spoody kind of didn't get the better of it in terms of the like chicken fight of
possibly, yeah.
Because like Spoody got to pick Cyberforth.
Yeah. Although I think that might have been the double pick.
It might have been the double pick. Yeah. But I think it makes sense to wait until your opponent picks a monk player and then.
Yeah.
But I guess then they could take 2 monk players on their side of a snake,
and then leave the other team kind of high and dry. But at that point, where else are you assigning one of your monk players?
Right. Mm-hmm.
All right. So in the early runnings here, both of our races with an Obsidian Spear, both of them with a Lucky Charm, but Biggiemac has Chainmail and the Bright Torch, and is about to get a Ring of Regen, which is real nice.
I've been going for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, no problem at all. Man, Monk not getting in the Star Charm is super weird to me. Like, of all the characters.
It's dumb.
Yeah, like, Bolt makes sense. Mary absolutely makes sense. You're not gonna give one a Monk? Really?
Common way to die of like, oh, I was handling this situation that was sort of on the edge, and then oh, there's a spirit.
Yeah, exactly.
And a crate.
Alright, so I map out of a crate for Biggiemac, who's going to spend some money in this transmog. No more blood shovel. Does have a titanium shovel though, not too bad.
Shovel, right? Pretty sure. Courage, where monk can get courage shovel, right?
That's a good question. Monk needs a voice. Idea. Let Monk say fuck. That's the only suitable voice line that you can record for Monk.
The Good Place. I know we got some people in the community were watching it a while back. You know what I'm talking about?
The Good Place?
Hypershock is getting into a bad situation here. Like this sitcom about like kind of about moral philosophy.
Not something I'm familiar with, sorry.
It's really weird. Anyway, there's a gag about this guy getting into like a version of heaven because he was like this vow of silence as a child and went his entire life without speaking. But it turns out that it's like this DJ from Florida and there was like a mix up, right? And I think that would be a great mod for Monk.
That's amazing.
Even really I don't really like it that it's okay. I had like a day where I was recommending it to people. Like a few different people on the politics Discord ended up watching it.
Alright, both of our racers in zone 2. Hypershock with a little bit of a lead on 2-3. Now with quartz armor, so it does have some armor, but only the 2 heart containers, so really not doing too much for you.
Making me a little nervous, to be totally honest.
and Monk does not get a Courage Shovel, and a good point brought up by Darkfreak, because used to have Wall Gold.
To used to, right? Yeah. That's,
yes.
Ryan. I just feel like Hypershock is getting himself into bad situations and not like thinking about where he's putting gold down.
Yeah, it is a little all over the place.
And he's a little more efficient than Biggie has been so far, but it's just a little risky to me.
Oh, the start of this 3-1 does not look pretty.
You have to understand how much hand rigging we had over Wall Gold with Monk.
Man.
In particular, one death that Elad had, Deathless on stream, was sort of notorious. Because it was in a wall torch tile.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we need to really think about what Monk can get
why
and what
is
is
this?
fair. Yeah. But things in Necrodancer, like a change happens, and then there isn't necessarily thinking about like what other things does it affect.
Yeah.
So once, there's like, okay, let's, because they can kill him in unfair ways, because there's whatever, Wall Gold or, spirits or what have you. Change to just remove Wall Gold on Monk, but not the like corresponding consequences of, well, that means we don't
have to
there's no
stop
justification
him
for,
getting a Courage Shovel anymore. Oh yeah, facts. That's the one that's like most recent in my mind. Yeah, that one was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like you just could not at all see it.
Elad's one you could see, but barely.
Yeah.
And like, even if you could technically see it,
it would be like, come on.
Fair. Yeah.
Alright, both of our racers on the same level now. Biggiemac over on the right-hand side of this 3-3, though.
What I mean with Hypershock.
Yep.
I'm really concerned. I don't know. I mean, he's made it this far. Too cautious. I'm spooked for him.
Yeah, good old Monk. Alright, and Biggiemac has pulled ahead here, actually. Nice grenade kill.
There's just a couple times Hypershock had to back off a lot in that zone 3. And let Biggie get ahead.
Yeah, and Biggie with the decision here to take the Ringer piece over the Ringer regen. Yeah. Get
like
yourself the fear enemies.
With heal spell.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. This sort of makes me nervous on both sides, is that Biggie has Grenade Charm. It always gets super freaked out about taking on Monk. Because if you get yourself surrounded by gold, you don't necessarily have a good way to get out of it. And Hypershock doesn't have. Oh, now he has bombs. But he also has
bombs for days. Oh yeah. Let's hope that neither racer gets full surrounded by gold. That would be unfortunate. Wait out the song?
Yeah,
I suppose. Unless it's a boss. If it happens on a boss,
that's really good.
Then it goes in the intro. Every other clip will be cadence, apart from the person getting stuck on a boss because they were surrounded by gold or Monk.
I don't like any of what just happened. Hypershock just totally like. So like when you have something like Grenade Charm, Bomb Spell is amazing.
Ooh, Lord, that's spooky for Biggiemac. Oh, jeez.
Lost his charm. This
Yep.
is bad.
This is bad. Okay. Okay.
I got out of it.
We can breathe again.
Man. Like, just warlocks alone are like the most dangerous thing. I feel like warlocks are Ryan's best enemy invention.
They're a real pain in the ass, but they're not unfair.
They're so simple.
Yes.
Yeah, and they make it difficult for they make it things difficult in different ways for a bunch of different characters.
Yeah, but not really in unfair ways. Like they're enemies that they are just unfair sometimes. Warlocks, they're maybe you get one that jumps on like a bounce trap and comes and gets you. Sure, but like I don't blame that on the warlock.
Mm-hmm. And I think Hypershock, I feel like, is calming down a little bit. He's been playing pretty well this Zone 4. Biggie has had a few spooky situations, but Hypershock is doing a lot of things efficiently and pulled like very significantly ahead.
Yeah, has a pretty hefty lead now.
Good for Biggie.
Alright, Zone 5, where gold kind of drops whether you want it to or not. Because of that wire.
This is part of where I get worried with Grenade Charm. Because unless you're pretty proactive about it, those skulls can get... and Biggie is in a very bad spot.
This is it. This is bad. The self-grenade.
Yeah, that was perfect. That was it. That was, I think, the only thing he
yeah,
could
that's
do.
the only thing that it was that was going to get him out of that situation. And alright, down onto 5-1 is Biggie, but Hypershock's down onto 5-2.
Oh, man.
And the running you kind of have to go a bit slower in this Zone 5 because there's just so many things, and you're hitting so many things because of the wire. But you also don't want to not be on the wire, you know?
Right. Yeah, I feel like Monk is one of the harder characters to play Zone 5 in. So, I mean, they're about a floor apart, but I think it is... You can lose a lot of time all of a sudden. I'm impressed with how much Hypershock's play improved in Zone 4 and 5. I think he must have just been nervous for the earlier zones, but he's been really solid.
It was like kind of... I think it was like... It seemed to be finding that potion kind of...
I think he just closed the gap pretty significantly.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. That Zone 5 just dissipated for Biggie.
He just had an incredible grenade charm.
It looks like it's still going to be Hypershock.
Has the advantage. Yeah, that was close.
Yeah, that is like real close. How close is that? 6 seconds. Wow. So that one coming down pretty much to the wire. But Hypershock
he almost got it.
Yep, almost got it. Hypershock's going to pull out the win though, and that's another point for Jack's team. Team Red.
It was a Zone 4. Biggie had a really rough time in 4-1, and I think 4-2. Like over a floor, and caught some of it up in